We are visiting Liège, the most interesting and important city in the southern region of Belgium called Wallonia. We'll be showing you some highlights of this great place. We'll walk along its wonderful pedestrian lanes, visit a few museums, and go down to the waterfront street market, which is really quite a lot of fun. They say it's the longest street market in all of Belgium. Try their waffles, hot from the griddle. And we'll bring you into the Great Palace of Justice where they're having a party. Traditional music, dance, food, and drinks. We'll have a closer look at that later. You might start out at the Tourist Information Office.
Liège is a beautiful city to visit. You have a lot of sightseeing and highlights to see. And also people here are really, really great, because when you walk in a city and you meet other people and you don't know your way, you just have to ask and they reply you, so they are very sociable. So at the tourism office here we provide information for people and tourists who visit the city. And so if you want to visit the city and it's your first time, you have to come to meet us, and then we'll give you all the information you need.
The Tourist Information Office is in a very special building. This was called the Meat Market or the Butcher's Hall. It's considered the oldest civil building in Liège. Constructed in the middle of the 16th century in 1546. It was built for the Butchers Guild, and now it's the place to go for tourist information. The tourist office is right in the center of the old town, with many very quaint streets all around it. You can find flower markets, there's the cafes always, and the old buildings lining these lanes. A few blocks over, we get to Rue de la Boucherie, a trendy spot now, but had been part of the old meat market district. Now it's a delightful part of town with those typical cobbled lanes and outdoor sidewalk restaurants. 2 blocks away, we came upon another peaceful oasis in the middle of the city. It's La Cour Saint-Antoine, a beautiful courtyard with a fascinating architectural history. It's like an urban paradise with a calm atmosphere. With only 2 entrances, this secluded space retains a quiet, relaxed atmosphere. The street next to it is for pedestrians and has no retail shops, which further insulates Saint-Antoine from any city noises. Of course, one of the specialties of Belgium is chocolate, and here you'll find homemade chocolates, and nearby other specialty boutiques such as organic cosmetics and small art galleries. And how about a stroll along the narrowest street in the city? You have to turn and squeeze to get past any oncoming traffic, holding an average width of 80 centimeters. Narrowest and one of the oldest, with origins that date back at least to the 14th century. It's a useful connecting street even though there are no shops along it, with only a few unmarked doorways. A good place to sneak in a little graffiti. It connects 2 of the main pedestrian lanes of the center. Then it continues, getting a little wider with some retail and a different name. One of the streets it connects with is Rue du Pont, which leads to a bridge across the river, where we will be going shortly, and have a look at a different part of town on the other side of the River Meuse that flows through Liège. We've just come from that area around the Tourist Information Office, and now we're heading down to get close to the river, cross over, and bring you to a charming little narrow lane with restaurants. Before crossing that river, we walk down one of the lively streets of the city center with dozens of stores. Notice we've gotten out of the pedestrian zone. There's one-way car traffic here, but good sidewalks and lots of people out walking. It's a bustling urban neighborhood. Towards the end of the street, we get to La Grande Poste, which had been the major post office starting from 1900, looking something like a neo-Gothic castle. Now it's home to many activities, including a food market, a brewery, and 200 co-working spaces. This is one of 2 footbridges that go across the Meuse River. This passerelle Saucy was first built in 1877, and then it was destroyed in World War II. rebuilt after the war, and it's been renovated a few times since then. It has a nice curvature which gives you views along both sides of the river, up and down, where you will see some excursion boats. That's another activity you could enjoy in Liège. Take a boat ride. This navette fluviale offers a ferry service that makes just 5 stops on the river, or you could take a longer boat ride all the way into the Netherlands, visiting the nearby city of Maastricht on the 2.5-hour boat ride. From a little dancing on the ferry to dancing in the street a few blocks in from the river, they're having an outdoor party right in the middle of a road with music, food, lots of drinks, and people having fun. It's open to everybody. You pay a small fee to get in, then food and drinks are available for purchase. Right around the corner is Rue Retour. Go around that metal gate that seems to be blocking the entrance. But watch out if there's a group of kids playing football. This is their neighborhood. You can easily walk around them, just don't get run over by these little guys on the way in. It's almost like you have a barricade and a tunnel leading into this little street. You could easily walk right by it and not even notice, but this is kind of a hideaway for locals in the know and savvy visitors. You have entered a narrow, picturesque, and pedestrian lane lined with excellent restaurants. We are across the river in the district of Outremeuse, about a kilometer away from the center, making this more of a place for locals rather than visitors, but it's worth the walk to get over here. If you're not ready to eat, you could just sit at one of these outdoor tables and have a drink. Or if you don't feel like doing that, the walk was worth it just to see this beautiful street with its lovely restaurants. A secret enclave that has survived from the Middle Ages. Exit that gate and return to the city center for a visit to the big church. It's an easy walk over to the place next to the cathedral with outdoor cafes and a lovely garden with flower beds, a great place to sit down and relax for a little while. In the background, you can see the Cathedral of Liège, St. Paul's, built in the Gothic style in the 14th century. During the 15th and 16th centuries, St. Paul's was an important church, but only became the Cathedral of Liège in 1803, when the other cathedral, St. Lambert, had fallen into decay and ruins, destroyed during the French Revolution. The main features of the church date from the 13th century with all the characteristics of Gothic architecture. The transept, side chapels, 3 naves, and the pointed arches, along with stained glass windows, present dramatic examples of that Gothic style. The cloister consists of 3 long galleries. They were constructed during the late 15th and early 16th centuries in that Gothic style with the cross-vaulted ceiling and pointed arches, and they surround a garden courtyard that you can walk into and enjoy different views of the outside of the church from the perspective of this peaceful green oasis. The cathedral's treasury is frequently open to the public and consists of 10 rooms on 2 floors, leading through a journey of art and history related to the cathedral. The most important work in the treasury is the reliquary bust of Saint Lambert, the patron saint of Liège, who was assassinated at the beginning of the 8th century and became a martyr, and after his assassination, he became worshipped by pilgrims who came to Liège by the thousands, which turned the city into an important religious and cultural center. Another major religious site is the Collegiate Church of St. Bartholomew. Opened in the late 12th century, the twin bell towers and polychrome exterior are hallmarks of the German Romanesque style. The Lambrecht Fountain, created in 1916, is a memorial to a local soldier killed during World War I. The 18th century saw the addition of 2 more aisles and the opening of a neoclassical portal in the walls and a French Baroque redecoration of the interior. 7 years of heavy restoration work at the beginning of this century involved replacing 10,000 stones. The baptismal font is an early Romanesque work of incredible technological mastery, considered to be one of the 7 wonders of Belgium. Created in the early 12th century, it presents 5 scenes from the Bible. And the church offers a narrow window view. You can see the font from outside if you don't want to pay the admission to come in. Across the street, we find a major history museum constructed in a Renaissance building with a collection that includes prehistory, weapons, glass, archaeology, natural history, and sculpture. They're also a forum for local community events, like this casual fashion show. Back in the center of town, we pay a brief visit to this culture history museum, where you can discover life in Wallonia from the 19th century up until the present, focusing on society, people, ideas, and know-how. The Wallonia Museum of Folklore is one of several museums you can enjoy while visiting Liège. It has quite a collection of daily life in Liège from the last couple centuries. It's a relatively new museum with modern display style, but it's in a very old building that had been a Franciscan convent. Their original cloister, surrounded by columns, has become a friendly and busy place where concerts are held and visitors can play. Exhibits about the past are accompanied by concern for our future, with displays on recycling. Belgians are number 1 in Europe for recycling packaging waste. They take very good care of their small country. There is a historic palace right across the street from the museum. The huge Palace of the Prince Bishops is the most important historic building in town. It's 500 years old. It was the residence of the rulers of Liège, who were bishops. In later years, it became the Palace of Justice, housing law courts and government offices. Today, there was a big festival going on in the courtyard with music and dance and lots of beer in this beautiful surroundings with columns and porticos all around this central area. We'll show you a lot more of that coming up, but first we'll take a closer look inside the palace. Our visit begins at the main entrance, where a grand staircase welcomes visitors into the opulent interior. As we explore the various rooms and halls, you'll notice a diverse array of architectural styles that have been seamlessly integrated over the centuries. The private apartments once occupied by the Prince Bishops are testament to the lavish lifestyles of the elite during the 18th century. The building is a harmonious blend of styles, including Gothic, Renaissance, and Baroque, with intricate details that reflect the wealth and influence of the Prince Bishops who once resided and had offices within the building. The council chamber has coffered ceilings and double gallery in polychrome carved oak, dating to 1685. Lavish tapestries and exquisite furniture are in this room that's still utilized for official government meetings. The palace is only open to the public on special occasions like this festival, where they also put on some craft demonstrations like furniture repair and watchmaking. I was lucky to be here during the annual Wallonia Festival that takes place on the 3rd Sunday of September, celebrating Walloon identity, history, and patriotism, taking place throughout Wallonia, that southern region of Belgium, with the main party happening out in the great courtyard. Let's watch several minutes of this lively festival with its music and no narration, and then at the end we'll take you back down to that open market by the river.
On applaudit beaucoup plus fort et c'est la force de mesdames, messieurs, s'il vous plaît.
From that festival, we hop over to the outdoor street market by the river. It typically runs from early morning till 2 o'clock in the afternoon, every Sunday, year long. The main offerings at the market are produce, clothing, ready-to-eat foods, accessories, and snack vendors. Could you tell me about this market?
It's called a bat. It's something typical here. It's like a market, so it's quite long.
Every Sunday.
Every Sunday, yeah.
Uh-huh. Hello. Hello, hello. Bonjour. Merci.
Va t'asseoir un peu. Va t'asseoir là. Ah oui.
Bonjour.